Hello everyone, welcome to week 2 of, we're going to be talking about mobile development, but first thing that we're going to do for this week is we're actually going to build an application that allows us to do something within HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, and this application will allow us to, following week we'll actually be able to convert it over to a app. So first things first, we need to have an application, but we need to have a folder. So first thing I'd say, I'm using Atom in my demo, so I'm going to add a folder project, and I am going to go into development. I'm just going to create a new folder out here, and I will call this, I'm calling it my honeydew list, but I'll call it, it could be a shopping list, it could be anything, so I'll call it my shopping list. All right, and hit open. All right, so I have my shopping list. I'm going to create some folders, so I'm going to right click and do new folder, and the first folder that I'm going to create is a CSS folder, and I'm also going to create a JavaScript folder, so I'm going to call it JS for JavaScript. I'm also going to create an HTML file. I'm going to hit new file, and we'll do index.html. Alright, so the other thing is just create the CSS first, because the CSS is not much that we're working on. But before we get started, let me kind of show you what we're trying to accomplish here. Is we're trying to create an app that looks like this. As you see, I just have it's a website, but I'm trying to use it in that mode. What we want to do is create a list of something. So setting to go to store and purchase cat litter. I hit that. I can hit enter or hit add. If I need to purchase apples, such a mixture of items. And maybe say I want to create something for soda, so I need a 6-pack or 12-pack or whatever. Hit that, and then I'll be able to hover over it. Now this will not work in the mobile because I don't believe it could support this, but it will work for what we're trying to accomplish. So what we want to do is have these objects here, be able to purge one of them, or clear list and clear all items. Okay, so let's actually, before I get started, let me find a location where this is at. And well, let's see, did I create an HTML file? I did. Okay, so let's do this. Let's open the file. Open show and find is what I want to do. Alright, so we have this index file here, and I'm going to right click on it, and I'm going to open it with Google Chrome. And right now it's just going to be blank, and as we build to it, we'll add something to it. So we'll just keep it up and running so that we know what's happening. All right, cool. All right, so first things first, I say let's start with the HTML, and well, let's start with the CSS. I'm sorry. So first thing we're going to do is right click on it and add a new file. I will call it style.css. You could call it styles, you could call it theme, you could call it anything you want to call it. All right, so let's add the container, and we'll build a margin top, and it'll be 150 px. Now you can go, once we add this code, you could go back and change it to something else for you to play around with it. That's the whole idea of this. Background, we'll choose the color, and you can choose any color. For this time, I'm just going to choose this. Alright, so that right there is it with that. So I'm going to save that. Sure, save it. Great. Now I'll move over to my index. So some of this already have copy and paste because I'm not going to type it all out. It's just I'm using directories that are already in place. So so what we're doing is we're going to use Bootstrap model from these different websites. I'm just going to copy that over right now instead of me typing it, and just paste that like that, because what we're doing is we're grabbing from here. We're already we're inserting our CSS, so we're calling our CSS. We have our jQuery. All this stuff is reusable code from somewhere else. All right, so then I do need to include my JavaScript library, so I'll do script and source equals, and I need to source equals the location where it's at. So it's a JS folder, and I called it script .js, which I actually haven't named it that yet, but we're going to do that here shortly. And we'll do that. We'll end the script. So if I come out to here, right click, new file, we better call it script.js. You could call it anything, but that way it can link to it. So when the HTML loads, it will load the style sheet, this page right here, and it'll load this right here. Now the reason these are different is we're linking a style. When you're linking a style sheet, in this case, you're going to do it either like this if it's locally, like this one right here is. This one is out on another website. Now what I could do is I could easily do this. Excuse me. I could copy this. Find a window here. Let's bring over our window, and what I could do is I could paste it. It should save this right here, and I could actually save this as let me go back to my documents. Where was that at? Development should be in here. I could save it because what we're doing here is we're calling that CSS, so I could save that and come back and change it. So what I need to do is, let's do this, open folder, because I took that folder out, show in Finder. I know I put it in my development list, so it's right here. So I could copy this and go to shopping. That's the wrong one. That's a different program. CSS. I could paste it in here, and then what I could do is I could come up here and do the same thing with this. So what I could do is I could copy this, paste it, but then instead I could just copy this right here and paste it in there, and I don't even need to use this here at all anymore. So I could comment this out or just purge it out completely, so I'll delete it out. So now I just saved some time, so I could do that. I could do the same thing with this JavaScript right here. I could go out to the website and make it locally, so which I'm going to do that right now. The reason I'm doing this is because let's say that these guys go and make a change to their code, and when they make a change to their code, what happens is it might mess my program up, you know. So it's best to have what they have there. So let's see if I can save this. Might not let me do it that way, so I might have to copy it. So let's do this. Oops. Right click, new file. We'll call it jQuery. I'll keep it the same one dot, because this is just the library, for.min.js. And what I'll do is just paste in that code that we got from that website. Perfect. Is this right? I don't know. Looks good. I'm not going to be able to go through and look at it all, but I'm sure that's fine. So we will do the same thing here. Oops. Come down here. We'll type in script source equals JS, and then we will just copy this guy right here. There we go. Perfect. So now we eliminated this guy here. We're just making everything locally instead. And we're going to do the same thing with this guy here too. Now, originally I wasn't going to do this. I'm just going to show you how to use it, but I figure we'd play it safe though. When you're writing some code, you want this to work. Alright, so we're going to do the same thing here. Just going to copy it. Create a new JavaScript file. We will call this jQuery.cookie.min.js. Perfect. Save it. And what we're going to do here is we're going to make life easy, copy and paste. And then we're just going to copy this file here, what we called it. And we could have called it something else, but I I'm fine with keeping what they have in place. Cool. All right, so rip that out. And look at that. So we moved everything locally, I think. Oh, last thing is this bootstrap thing here for CSS. That's the last thing that we need to move locally. So copy that. Make sure our JS is looking good. We should have 3 of them in there, perfect. So now let's, where's it at? Right there. So let's start a new one. So I'll mess that up. Paste it, enter. I don't know if it'll let me do it. Of course not. So let's edit it, select everything, copy it. So let's go over here and create a new CSS, a new file. We'll call it bootstrap. And this is just the bootstrap min.css folder. And let's paste that in there. Boom. Now we have that there, save it. So if we open that, it should look like that, perfect. So we'll do the same thing here. I'm just gonna copy and paste. Instead of writing that out, come right here, paste it. Then I'm going to take this right here, the name of the file, and put it right here. Perfect. Now I can wipe this out. Now we officially have everything locally. Our bootstrap, our style, and our jQuery script top is, oh, what is that? I messed up somewhere. Oops. Hold on. What the heck is that? All right. jQuery script top CSS. I don't have that. So what did I do wrong here? Did I not bring that over? Oh, that's, hold on, that's the CSS. All right, so I'm looking in the wrong area. So we got that here. We got the bootstrap and style. Perfect. We have, I'm gonna separate these guys a little bit. We have these guys right here, the cookie, the JavaScript. So we got all that stuff locally. That's perfect. Excellent. All right, so let's get a title going here. I'll make sure I save this because I don't want to have to redo that again. All right, so saving it, I'll do script, or title, I mean. Title, I'll do, what do we call it? Shopping list. And that'll be the name of the title. All right. Then we're going to end the head. So we're just coding a HTML page here, ending the head. Then we're going to set up a body, and then a division tag, which will be ID equals, and we're just going to do jQuery script menu. You know what? Let's not do that. Hold on, we're going to do something different. Let me think about this. Let's do that. All right, so let's see, body db id equals jQuery script menu. So what we're going to do is try to build out the HTML aspect of it first, and then we'll move over to the JavaScript. Okay, so we have that, and we have a division class equals jQuery script center. So this is all stuff that's out there. We're just going to grab and use it. Build our environment out. We'll have another div class, so we're just calling stuff that's already out there, which is in our CSS basically. So this is stuff in our CSS that allows us to utilize the stuff that's in place, no problem. All right, there we go. Now we're gonna div tag, perfect. And let's see here, we need another one. So let's see here, we have body, div. We have another one here. Yep. All right. So then we're going to build a container. Oops. Perfect. All right. So we got this container here. All right. 1 second. Man, I want to give us something good to listen to while we're doing this. Need some good music. My high school teacher would play classical music all the time when we programmed. See if we can find something good in his memory. Yeah, I like that. It's not too bad. All right, so we're going to use some of that in our background as we program. It's nice, relaxing. He would always share with us, Mr. Wallace. So it was a good thing to do. All right, so we have our container. Hopefully you can hear me over this music. All right, so we have our container, and now we're going to do our class, do our span class. Oops. And we're going to do our panel, title, text center, and then in bold. So what we want to do here is we want to have, I'm going to put it this way, we want to have something here. So let's put that in bold. We'll call it shopping list. You can call it what you want to. Make it bold, span. All right, then we come down here and over a little bit, division ID equals, we'll call it, it's a list. I'll just call it list for now. Class equals panel. Then the panel is, so the panel that we're using is, yes, it's class. We'll grab that there. Now we're going to do another division ID equals the title. And then we're going to grab this class here. Oops, not that one. The heading. So we're just grabbing the heading to pick out how we want it to look. Kind of like what we did on the honeydew list there. Alright, so we have heading, and then we indent down a little bit. H1 class equals panel, title, and then text center. And then we'll add a space in there, so I'll put an MBSP, and then heading 1 off. Perfect. And we want to close our division tag here. Excellent. Then I'm going to have a new division tag out here, and this one will be for our input box. So that'll be the input box where you input the value. We'll use a CSS class of panel body, and you could always go back and change that in the CSS, not a problem. All this stuff is very multi-usable. Equals input, group, then we'll do an input name equals add to list. Type is text because it's text based. The class is the form control because that's what we want it to look like. And the placeholder equals, we could say add grocery item. And do this, that, and then close it. All right. So we should almost have something in place. I don't think we'll have anything yet, but let's go out here and see, refresh it. And we're getting there. So we have the text box. As you see here, it's bigger, so we're going to definitely make it bigger, and we're going to have an item over there as well for our add, and then we'll work on a button. All right, so add item. Let's see what else we have here. Add list. Okay, so now we come back down here and do a span class, and this class right here is we're going to grab the input group button, and then we need to add another button. Well, the first button, which will be the add button, and the class for that is don't mind that comes up every time for some reason. So we put button, and we put button primary. Yep. And now all we do is put what we want to put here. So I'll say add, close the button, and the span, close. And we close the division, the divider tag, we're saying division. And we add a line down here. And now we're going to program another class button. We need to have that clear button. So we'll do bar group. Oops. We'll do the button. Do an ID, we'll call it clear because that's what we're going to do. Clear, delete, whatever. Class equals button, button danger, which is looking for red button. Once again, you could change it. We'll just say clear list, clear items. I like that better. And let's see, what am I missing here? So we have danger greater than clear items button. Okay, that looks good. What is that saying? I don't know. Ignore it. All right, so then I'm going to close this out. Then close one more out. Then let's see here. I hit enter. Oh, I need to show this up here. So we should be able to close the body out. Then close HTML out. All right, save that. And let's go back here, refresh it. Oh, I don't like that. Reload this page. Okay, I don't like that. We had it good here, so I must have messed something up here. We have add, but the clear button is wrong. So let's see what I messed up on. So something here is a little funky too. I noticed that. Let's see, where would it be at? It's definitely in this ballpark. So let's take this out for a second. Save it. I think that's where it's at. Okay, so that was everything there, so that's fine. Let's see. Put that back in there. Let's save it. All right, so I'm not sure what I did. Let's take this out. Save it again. All right, so it seems to work. Anyways, we have the functionality right now. We can type in here all day, but you can't add anything, you can't clear anything. So now what we need to do is build the JavaScript. So we're going to need to have, so think about it, we're going to need to have certain things in place to make it work. We're going to need to have a add item. So let's go over to the JavaScript. So we're going to need to have, let's just kind of talk about it out here, what we need. We're going to need something to, a function that allows us to add an item with an argument in it. Okay, so we're going to need that. The other thing that we'll need is we'll need to be able to have a single function that allows us to add an item. Okay, so we need that for sure. Then we need to have a single function that allows us to remove an item. Okay, item. So we need that. We also need a single function that allows us to clear. So we need to clear. What else? We need one for add remove icon. So that'd be like we might get away with that in mobile and not need it. But HTML, we can. We'll play with that. Let's see what else. We need to have an event when the user presses the buttons. So we need that. And then we need another function that is related to the event. So when the add button is clicked on, we need to have something there. When the clear button is cleared on, we need to have something there, if that makes sense. So without that in place, it will not work. So let me. Let's see here. Okay. All right. So let's start writing some code. All right. So we'll have a var input box for starters. We'll have a function, a main function area, but we'll actually come back to this later. Let's just add some of our necessity items that we need to do. So we need to, add an item. So how do we do that? We come down here and do function add. Then we do say if the input box dot value equals tick tick. We then do console.log and nothing happens. Nothing happens, and then we return it. All right. Let's see here. So if, let's see here. Oops, I got it wrong. So if we have the if here, if that happens, return it. Else we need to have this, not that. I can't type. Add item input box. It's getting real loud for me. So add item input box dot val, and then put input box dot val like that. There we go. And that should do it right there. All right, so now let's go down here and do a remove item. Function remove element. And we'll say var item equals $, and it'll be this object. And then we can say item dot find. We'll grab the span and say dot, oops, not there. We'll say dot remove class, and in this case what we're doing here is if we go here on the one that works, let's say that I want to add beer. I want to add some wine, and I want to add some whiskey. Alright, so I add these items. As you see when I hover over this, I want to remove this icon. This icon has a name to it. So we want to remove that class and find that image. If we have a text warning us something, we want to remove that. If we have an OK button, we want to remove that, and so forth. So that's kind of what we're doing here. So so what I'll type here is the name of the object, trash, and then I'll do the same thing for the other ones. So what I'm going to do is copy and paste this and change the value around a little bit. So I'll come down here, V, all right, cool. This one will be text warning. Perfect. And then the other one will be kind of the same thing. Will be the OK button instead. Perfect. All right. Then we'll do the item fade out aspect of it. So as you notice there, when I click this, fades away. We could do that. We don't have to do it, but we'll add it, and then we can play around with without it not in there. So we'll do fade out, and we did 1000. I want you guys to try it with a different value. I want you guys to try it without it at all. So then we'll come down here and say item.remove, and that'll close that out. Boom. So that is our remove. Alright, so remove item. We need to have a cleared feature. A lot of coding here. Let's see where we're at. 29 minutes, jeez. All right, let's clear function. So we'll do function clear, and we'll come down here and we'll kind of do the same thing, but we'll do something different. We'll do var items equals $, and then $, we'll do to do. Okay, and then we'll do var glyph equals items dot find. So we're trying to find something. Sounds like Tetris. Almost like. All right, it does sound like Tetris. Very nice. I like that one better. All right, so we'll do glyph dot remove class, and we'll do glyph icon dot minus, and that creates the minus aspect of it. I'll declare, and then we'll do glyph dot add class glyph icon dot okay. And we'll close that out there. Cool. Oops, not there. There we go. And we'll do items dot fade out 1000 function, and then we'll items dot remove. It removes the items, and that's it. I think. Yeah. And you close that out. All right, cool. We're getting there. All right, so now we need to do add remove icon. So I'm going to cheat and copy the code that I have down because I'm getting tired of typing. So what we're doing here is we're doing add remove icon. We do our glyph. This information, same set that we've been doing. We now need a scroll down here a little bit. We need to have an event. So this would be our event right here. So we'll have is function on key press events, and we'll do on the event we'll say if an event dot key code equals 13. So it's looking for a specific action. We'll add something. Okay, else. And then what we need to do is we need to do document. Oops, wrong one. Document dot ready function. We'll do this right here. Now what we'll do is we'll take. So if we go back to HTML, each item has a value to it. So add has this item right here. So we have the value add, right? And then we have a clear ID right here, right? So that's clear. And so each item has a value to it. So that ID. So if that ID is selected, then what we're going to do is we're going to whatchamacallit, remove it. So there is actually something I think I forgot to do. I think, but we'll see. So let's copy. Let me just copy this code in here real quick instead of me writing it out, because just for time purposes. So document and paste that in here. What we're doing is we're using the input box, and we're saying if add, click add. If clear, it's just the event that happens. I don't know if this exactly will work, but we'll try it. So let's save it. And let's refresh it. All right, so let's say pop, hit add. All right, so something is not working. And clear is not working. What did I do wrong? Oh, you know what? I did forget to add a feature up here. So this is something I'm just going to copy and paste in instead of putting it in. It would be before this. It's this piece right here. This is needed. So let's see if that was my missing element. Nope. That wasn't missing it. Alright, so that was there. We got our add in here. Alright, someone was trying to call me. Alright, so we got our add item in here. Let me see here. Add. We got that. Let's see, what am I missing? So I'm looking at my ad. That looks good. I just went around and just kind of played around with this code a little bit. I thought it was this, and I tried to use the different libraries, and anyways, it seemed to be working. I just kind of moved this JavaScript code around a little bit, but I'm gonna paste this out. This will also be available out on my GitHub account. So if you're in my class, you know where that's at. So let's say tires, add, I want to add a wrench. We'll just say tools. I want to add oil. I want to add food, anything. So you get the gist. I could do that, or I could clear the list. It still works. All right, thanks for watching. I'll post the source code out on my GitHub, and you can check it from there. Thanks for, all right, good day.